Well, hello, I'm Karen Brook and here to do your wrap up of day one of Paradigm Shift. Wow. To use Sue's word that she just posted here in our group, one word, wow. What an amazing first day of Paradigm Shift. It's not too late to register. If you haven't got your live stream, then head along to the link now and make sure you get it. I thought I would go through some of the highlights for me today and take you through some of the key points that you can direct back to the live stream and go a little deeper with. How does that sound? It was absolutely wonderful to see Price Pritchett in the audience this morning. Many of you followed my reading club lives when we were reading U Squared, this famous little book that he wrote. Mine is absolutely falling apart. I've also got a stack of them like Bob does. So remember when we were reading U Squared together a couple of months ago or a month or so ago? He was in the audience this morning, which was absolutely amazing to see. This is a book that is loved by anybody that has studied through the Proctor Gallagher Institute before. If you're a client of mine, you will know that for years I have been teaching from it and I have been talking about it. So make sure you get a copy of U Squared, an absolutely great little book, and go back and watch the start of Paradigm Shift where you see Bob go into some of his favorite parts of the U Squared book. The next thing that I really want to talk about and touch on is decision. And we always talk about this with a paradigm shift because the only way to start to change paradigms is to make a decision that you're going to do that. And Bob says that the only prerequisite to making a decision is, do you want it? And so I want you to think about the things that you want in life, and I want you to think about making a committed decision. The only way that you will be able to turn them into reality is if you do make a committed decision. And I have to say, procrastination really is a goal killer. It's as simple as that. The more you maintain an indecisive state of mind, your dream and your goal, it will fade. There is no doubt about it. You will think that you've made a committed decision and yet you'll procrastinate on how I could do it and if I should do it, and maybe I shouldn't do it. And you'll let other people talk you out of doing the things that you really want to do. And you'll then start to procrastinate and the goal will fade. So make a decision. You've got to make a decision, and that will eliminate any sort of mental state of ambiguity, and it will put you on the right path towards receiving what you want. What you have to understand is everything that you want is in a consciousness beyond the one that you presently live in. And that to get to that new state of consciousness, you have to make a decision. And that's not always going to be comfortable, but it'll be worth it. So you have to think about what you want, but that's not enough. You then have to make a committed decision to move into action, to become aware of how to receive it so that you can receive it. So there was a lot of time spent on the first session around that, and I encourage you to go back and rewatch that first session. When you're looking at the live stream, the top little right-hand corner of the video, you'll see a little square box. And if you click on that, you'll be able to rewatch the sessions of the day, and they're available straight away, which is fantastic. So if you weren't like me and up at 1:50 a.m. this morning watching it live, you can click on that little box and you can start to rewatch the sessions throughout the weekend in normal human being time. But I must say, I also was reflecting overnight that inconvenience exposes commitment. And I always get up and participate in Paradigm Shift because it is just even the act of doing that changes the paradigm, because the paradigm doesn't want you to get up. It says that's illogical. Why would you get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and do a seminar? And that's what we do to ourselves. We take a logical, rational approach, and we listen to that little voice inside your head. So even the fact that you're actually getting up in the middle of the night to do something like this, bang, straight away, you're going to start to create a paradigm shift just in doing that, which is cool. So that is the second one around decision. Oh, I love this. So taking a look at your results. I want you to think about your results that you're getting at the moment. And if they're not what you really want, don't spend another second focusing on them. But the problem is that you do. And a lot of people spend a lot of time focusing on results they don't really like. They get emotionally involved with those results. They let those results be their point of support. They let those results influence the decisions that they're going to make next. They don't want those results. And yet all of your focus is on those results. You've got to quit doing that. You're not going to be able to create anything better than what you've already got if you continue to look at your present results. So you want to focus on what you want and why you want it and how good you feel when you imagine receiving what you want, and focus all of your energy forward. I'm going to share a video with you tomorrow on why it is so common that 97% of the population keep getting the same results year in, year out. And if you're sitting here at the moment and thinking that it'll be different next year or in 6 months or 12 months time, that is a load of you know what I'm saying, because it won't be, because your paradigm has you programmed and it has you so locked in and focused on present results and the way things are at the moment, and you make that your point of support. You're making decisions from that place. You're not making decisions from the place of your goal. And that's exactly what you have to start to do. You've got to really get into the spirit of it and quit looking at your past results or current results and really start focusing all of your thought and energy forward towards creating what you want. To do that, it takes mental discipline. You have to know and understand your 6 mental faculties. And Bob talks about that also in the first session of day 1. So go back and review that around your 6 mental faculties and how to use them. Sandy Gallagher had an absolutely brilliant little piece on change. And fortunately, I was fast enough to write it down. And I actually want to read most of it to you, or in the way that I was able to rewrite it quite quickly. And I want to talk to you about this because it's very, very significant what she is saying here, and you've got to understand it if you want to create change. She said, you want to go back and make sure you do watch that first part of the day, because they really do set up the foundation for the whole paradigm shift, 2.5 days. You have to make room for the good you desire. So that's like step number 1. You've got to make room. You've got to make a decision to say, well, that's where I'm going. But are you willing to change? Now, it's very easy to sit here now and say, yeah, I'm willing to change. I'd love to do that. But are you really willing to change? Why would you change? Why would you even entertain the concept of changing? Because you want to grow. That's why. That's why you entertain the concept of changing. Why would you want to grow? Interesting question, isn't it? Because you are a spiritual being. If you are not growing your spirit, expressing yourself, you are dying. You are in a state of disintegration. You want to remember that goals are not to get there to grow. They're to draw out more of who you are from within. They are to allow you to expand spiritually, mentally, and physically. And that constitutes growth, and that constitutes change. So, are you moving forwards or are you moving backwards? By virtue of the thoughts and ideas that you're holding in your consciousness, that will determine whether you're moving forwards or backwards. If you're focused on present results, on circumstances, you are moving backwards. Mark my words. If you are not focused on a goal that constitutes growth, you are dying. You are going backwards. You have to change, and you have to be willing to embrace change. I will repeat that again for the people down the back. You have to be willing to change, and you have to be willing to embrace change. This is why so few people are really living the way they want to live, because they are unwilling to change. I'll add to that to say most people are unequipped to go through any sort of significant change. They do not have the understanding or awareness as to how to move through that psychological process of growth and change. But that's exactly what we teach you how to do. And as you learn how to do that, you are in control of the growth and change, moving yourself in the direction of what you really want. That's a pretty cool thing. It was fantastic in the last part of the session. Brian Proctor, Brian Proctor and Peggy McCall. I know both of them very, very well. I've spent many years working with them through the Proctor Gallagher Institute as a top consultant. And they just keep getting better and better when they do their little partnerships on stage. And Peggy was talking about the Power Life script. Now, for those of you who have registered and got your live stream accesses, I will make sure I do a special follow-up training with you and help you work on your Power Life script. That was in the second part of day one, where she's talking about the Power Life script and why we do it and how we do it and what it's all about. So make sure you go back and review that. And I will make sure I put a very special training on for you. I do a call with you at the end of this. Straight away, we'll do it next week. We'll do it early next week, and I'll take you through a little workshop and I'll help you develop your Power Life script. So for those, only for those who have actually got a live stream registration. So keep an eye out for that. Which brings me to the next thing that was fantastic, which was my interview. Did you see it? It was at the end of the morning session. So just before we broke for lunch, I had a chat with my very good friends and colleagues, Doug Dane and Corey Kelly Proctor, who's actually Brian's beautiful wife. I knew Corey before they were an item though. And we sat down and had a chat about this material, about how I started to work with Bob Proctor, how that whole incredible situation came about. And I really just shared very candidly and openly and honestly what this material has done for my life, how it's impacted my family, my relationships, and what it's like being a part of this community and being a serious student of this material. So that is at the end of the morning session, just before we break for lunch. So it's 5 or 10 minutes. Make sure you go and watch that, and it'll give you another perspective again on the power of really getting into this and making it part of your life. And there is still plenty of time to register. So if you are watching this here and you do not have a live stream registration yet, there is still plenty of time for you to register. I've put the link there at number 7 in the comments, so you can go along and register, and you will still have access to absolutely everything that's already been covered. You'll have access to day one straight away, and you'll still have access to the 14-day replay after this. And then any additional stuff that I do for follow-ups just for live streamers, you'll also then have access to that as well. So that is it for the wrap up of day one. So day 2 is tomorrow. Tomorrow we will look at some work around what happens when you step out and go to make change, when you really go to act on the decisions that you're becoming aware that you want to do, and you will hit this invisible wall of fear and doubt, and the circumstances will be even more vivid, like, I can't do that, where's it going to come from? And we're going to teach you tomorrow how to really overcome that and move forward. So I'm really looking forward to being back online with you again tomorrow. So I'll be back here in the group live from 2 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Make a paradigm shift and wake up and do it, and really get out of your comfort zone. Do something illogical to really shake that paradigm up. You'll love it. You might be a little bit tired the next day. I'm not tired though, because it's beautiful energy. It's beautiful energy and it's beautiful images to be involved with, and it just sustains you. I can honestly say that, having studied this material as a very serious student every single day now for nearly 5 years. And I have run ultra marathons and had a family and grown a global business. And I have a lot of clients to look after every single day. And I'm in such a beautiful, calm, relaxed state all the time because of this material. So when you're studying it, even though you're going to be getting up early overnight, that you're going to find that it just sustains you throughout the day anyway. So come and join me. Why not? Let's hang out. Pretend that we're back in those Reveler days where we would still be out at 2:00 in the morning just getting home, right? You know what I'm talking about. Except we'll be sitting in front of a computer studying this together. How does that sound? All right. If you've got any comments on or questions about today's session, then comment them on this video and I will answer them for you. And if there's lots of them, which I hope there is, I'm more than happy to pop back in a little bit later on and I can do another Q&A video with you to answer those questions. But otherwise, just drop a question or a note on the comments thread here and I'll pick it up. If I can help you in any way, let me know. And I really look forward to being back online with you again tomorrow. You take care. I'm Karen Brook. Bye.